Right, welcome back everyone, welcome back to Let's Say Turning Point Fall of Liberty. I am Evil Tim, and we are going to get straight back into it by running towards a machine gun because it makes sense for us to do that. And here it is! Hooray! The Nazis have built a barricade in the middle of a street for no good reason. Now one thing you can't see is there are a bunch of civilians running straight towards it because, well, I guess everyone in this world is a colossal idiot except for Gary Stu here. So now we've got ourselves a 45 cal lever action rifle. It's probably supposed to be Winchester model 1892, but it actually looks more like a modern Henry Big Boy. I have no idea why that is, but anyway, here's a man with one as well. Okay, if the spotlights catch us, then assuming the assault blimp's hit detection doesn't fuck up like his walk cycle does, they will fire their machine gun at us, and it will be devastating and terrible. So let's walk over the invisible line on the ground that causes this man to get killed by Germans. There are the Germans. I guess, given the assault blimp here appears to be the only one in the world, I guess all those giant blimps have just got pissed off at the Nazi paratroopers jumping out of the air 1,000 yards in front of or behind them. Or they've got pissed off at people trying to explain how the tanks have got to ground level, because, well, that'll never be explained, and nor will it be explained where the P-1000 came from. Or maybe they've just gone back to Germany to, now that they've dropped off the paratroopers, they're going to pick up the army of invincible dragon zombies and giant nuclear gorillas or something like that. So let's pick up a lever action rifle from under a pile of papers, stare up at that thing uselessly, and then admire the Nazis' barricade, which is made of solid wood. Right, so now it's night, you can actually see the steam coming out of this machine gun. There it goes. Hooray, it's having a good old steam, and its belt is clipping straight through its ammo box. Wonderful, hooray. And while we're talking about glitchy weapons, this lever action rifle never ejects spent casings and also can occasionally fire 2 shots at once. Here is a man.
It's a shortcut to the freight train station.
Was he just watching all of his neighbours getting machine gunned? Because, you know, that's not on. It's not exactly a spectator sport. Although I guess it was the world's first audience participation atrocity, so, you know, it really needed people to go, oh my god, Carson has no brain! And, if we look down a bit, he's also got false teeth. That's weird of him. We'll never ever look at that again, I'm sure. So let's shimmy our way across here towards the next part of the level. In order to allow it to load, you see, the next part of the level is papers, which are lying around on the floor. That's marvellous. Now, I'm not saying that this game is unrealistic, just that I own a few games that are a bit more realistic than this one. Naming no names.
Ragnar the Blood Edge.
None at all. So let's climb past this weirdly placed dials, and then we'll make our way onto this elevated type railway track, and the blimp will make angry blimp noises at us. Yes, it makes angry blimp noises. Couldn't make this kind of thing up, could you? So, now we're in a wonderful warehouse full of crates, that most imaginative of all first-person shooter locations, your list of generic FPS shooter locations being the sewer, the warehouse, the subway, and the office. If you've got all 4 of those, then you're really in trouble as far as imagination goes. So, now we're in a warehouse. What do? We throw grenades at nothing, that's what we do. And then it goes off, and it probably killed someone, who knows. We admire our own kneecap and the fact that we can't jump over a handrail that's barely higher than it. And yes, there's wooden crates here. I've got whole rooms full of those, just in case someone comes by with a crowbar. Now we've got to wonder, a turning point is, does the game actually have like a real life bad draw distance? Because, you know, those giant zeppelins were in the middle distance and we were all looking straight at them. So did they just like blip into existence like everything else does? Who knows? We'll never find out. We'll never care either. But there's a German over here, so let's fight our terrible aiming system and then eventually manage to get the crosshair on top of him and he will die of it. So, now that they are for some reason scouting out this no doubt incredibly important random warehouse with nothing in it, okay, it's got a SWAT blimp and a whole bunch of Germans in it. Why do they want this place? What is so important about it? I don't know. So let's climb down here, admiring our silly skater chain, and then we will marvel at the fact that the Germans have apparently figured out a way to make metal burn. I don't know exactly what's going on there, so let's climb down here and ignore it, and we will defeat these Germans here who have rudely spawned in. That's not on, that's not cricket, so we throw a grenade at them, which isn't cricket either. So, now we've got to make our way through this incredibly convenient hole, and then we will marvel as the blimp gets its spotlights on us and still doesn't fire its machine gun at us. Good stuff there, that's really a threatening thing to have in your game. And over here is one of those misplaced buttons, another one, but firstly a scripted grenade drop, because it's marvellous when that happens. So you have to walk backwards and then, yep, there's a grenade, and for some reason he throws it there. You know, if you dropped it in the elevator, that would probably help. Here we go, here's the misplaced button. It's not there, it's actually, can we press the button? Can we press the button? Oh, okay. I guess the button just sort of moved a little. You know, I don't think it's a particular coincidence that Codemasters were advertising for playtesters just as this game was coming out. Either they all quit in disgust, or alternately they all fired. We're not sure of the specifics at all. Anyway, let's have a look at that SWAT blimp, for it is now going to be flying along, firing its machine gun forwards, and surely we can now take out the gunner. apparently they just really don't like the pilot, I guess. I'm not sure. But anyway, now another bunch of civilians are going to run straight towards a highly fortified position, and we are going to ignore them doing that too. But firstly, more pixel hunting. There we go. Take him out. And there's a police car over there with a man hiding behind it, so he's probably a German, because that makes sense in my mind, and that's the only place it has to. So, past this mysterious rubble, we will snipity this man here, and then we will make our way down in completely the wrong manner. You're actually supposed to climb down that wrecked train car there, but that's not stylish enough for me, so I'm going to do it the other way, the way they didn't intend for it to happen. There's one more guy first, but we'll get him later. So, what we're instead going to do is going to drop down onto here, hooray! And then we will make our way along, and we will skip past what we're supposed to do, and confuse the Germans by doing that. Right, so, what you're meant to do here, I guess, is hide behind the cars and snipe at them, but they are completely ill-equipped for you just running straight past them and then killing them from behind. Look, they're still hiding there. You get out of it. You're ridiculous. So they all keel over in an extremely silly manner. That man manages to take cover behind something that isn't covering him at all, and he explodes. Right, we have defeated the Germans. Hooray! And we will now get our reward for that, which is a Gewehr 47. Hurrah! Let's get rid of our lever-action rifle and pick up this silly thing instead. Now, we are about to be faced, in a moment we'll be faced by the world's most misplaced sniping section. Let's make our way down into the subway. I'm totally not making this up. And we will once again have one of those awkward loading jumps that apparently catapults us into a wall. We've got to find our way back to street level. At firstly, a thoroughly useless room. Why do you put things like that in your game? I don't know. Now, this thing here is apparently a hybrid of the Gewehr 43, the Soviet SVT-40, and the Mosin Nagant, of all things? I don't know. Both of them actually do have that tangent sight. I'm surprised no one pointed that out, but there's a few problems with this thing, but it's much easier to see them when we get the version with the infrared scope later on, so I will talk about those then. Meanwhile, we have got to kill more men. We're apparently still on Lexington Avenue, which is where the other station was as well. Yes, I know it's a line, I don't care, that's not the point. But we will have to kill all of these men who, again, for some reason have this incredible desire to take over the subway, despite the fact that it's now all been blocked off. That's pretty damn silly of them, and my screensaver's going to come on. Go away, screensaver, I don't like you. Right, so we're taking out men in subway cars. Now, I must ponder at the geography of this, considering the fact that these subway cars have actually physically attached together, because I guess they've parked them too close and now they're trying to mate or something. But yes, supposedly if the Nazis tried to invade New York, men would start walking randomly on seats and the Hellgast would invade the sewers as we'll sit there. What are you doing there? But they're talking in German as opposed to talking with strange London accents as real Hellgast do, so I guess they're fakes. There you go, there's another one. Look, shoot him. I don't know why he's wearing a gas mask. No one's using gas around here. No one at all. So let's make our way along here and forget all about that. Right, so around here we find ourselves in subway cars. Let's switch to a more appropriate weapon, which is this thing, which about 90% of the Germans in the game carry anyway. So, through here, lots of men are preparing to fire at us with their weaponry. So we are going to take one of them as our prisoner, we are. We will take him as our sausage and steal his gun. There you are, you sir. You are going to help me with my Americanness. I am going to steal your weapon and then break the game's camera and waddle over here. You, my rubbery arm, will defeat you. Haha. And then we will shoot this guy in his trousers and he will jiggle about stupidly. Meanwhile, this man has a better idea. He's watched the movie Speed and therefore he knows that you're supposed to shoot the hostage, even if it doesn't actually make any particular amount of sense for you to do that. So our hostage will sort of keel over and then we will have to shoot this man for being so goddamn unfriendly. There we go. He's out of it as well. Hey, go on. When the railway tracks are this close together, it strikes me as a somewhat severe hazard. Don't these trains, like, scrape against each other all the time? I'm not sure. I think I would probably have done it better. So let's clamber our way up here and ignore all of that silliness. You, stop firing your gun in the wrong direction. That's naughty of you. And now here is... You know... Given that all the subways have collapsed, did that mean that we just sent all those civilians we saved to their deaths anyway? Who knows? Right, you need this grenade. No, I don't. Oh, I do. Right, fair enough. Just try and throw a grenade around that corner. We will fail repeatedly. This man here is trying to do something, I'm sure, but that's not on. So we have defeated... Oh, Jesus. That wasn't my best plan. You will all forget that that happened. That man's having a good old wiggle, so we'll throw a grenade at him so he will stop. because that is unclean of him. So, through here we go, and then something will explode. I guess. I'm not entirely sure what that was at all, but let's make our way around here and see if we can find out. And this is another thing this level is full of. There are random exploding barrels everywhere. I guess that maybe in the level plan for this, it says player encounters exploding barrels, shoots them, player is now interested in level spot, gets game of the year for Turning Point Fall of Liberty. I don't know. So let's shoot this Hellgast here. It's the Delgast. Rodney, you plonker, download that code data. Right, there we go. So shoot him, and so he cannot download that code data. So through here we go, and we will steal their weapons as they vanish bizarrely, and then there's a plank there for no reason. And we will then encounter, after we kill this guy, we encounter one of the few men who in the Nazi army who is not wearing either swimming goggles or a gas mask. My God, you've got a face. Get out of it. We can't have that. That's madness. So through here, a random explosion will occur, and my God, the electricity pipe is leaking. That's strange. Okay, and down here we... Huh? What is this? It's a dastardly Nazi plan. Apparently their plan is to try and flood the New York subways with wallpaper paste. Either that or it's an atrocious water texture. It's really up to you, people. We are going to leave that one down to democracy. So, through here we go. And in this area we were about to find our infrared type sniper rifle, but firstly there are more Germans for us to blow up. Right, so let's whip out the rifle that we hardly have any ammo for, run past that, run miles away from that, and it still hurts us down to critical health. The grenade damage in this game doesn't make any sense. It seems to actually be totally random as to how much damage the grenade will do, or even if it will damage you. You're going to see that more in the next level, actually. So we're going to try and shoot this man through a wooden seat, but apparently it is an armoured, invincible wooden seat, and therefore we will be defeated once again. Right, toss a grenade at him, and then this man in here is going to try to... Oh, I've run out of ammunition. That was badly planned of me. You, that's all your fault. So, we have disposed of him in the way that he deserved. We will pump some bullets into this man over here as well. He'll throw a grenade for some reason, and that won't hurt us at all. Hurrah! The random number generator was on our side that time. We're going to try and pick up that weapon. We're going to fail at it, and so we will instead get this weapon. Again. It doesn't make any sense. Don't try to make it make any sense. So, let's make our way into this subway car over here, where we will find the Gewehr 48S Vampire, I believe it is called, and we hear snipers firing at us. Yes, there are snipers in subway cars. Here we go. As you can see, this is probably a real sniper-type scope, right? Because it's vastly more detailed than the whole of the rest of the weapon put together, which has weird and silly textures, whereas this has even got writing on it. But Tim, you're saying there really was a Vampire infrared sniper scope. Yes, and here it is. Unfortunately, this isn't it, because it's one of these, a Soviet NSP-2 scope from the 1960s. When the Soviet Union was defeated in 1941 in this universe. So yeah, that makes complete sense. It's just copy a sniper scope that doesn't make any sense to be here. And of course you can use the sniper scope without actually looking down the sight, which makes sense as well. And what it does is give the enemy silly laser sights that go through walls, and it sticks bright red lights on their head. So really all this gun does is insult your intelligence. Marvellous! And it's also, I think, only in this level. So let's try and climb up here. I said let's try and climb up here. Climb up there, Carson. Your brother Jack would have no problems with this. He's James Cameron, for crying out loud. So we'll climb up here, and then another man will try and laser us lazily with his laser, but he will not succeed at it, because we are aware of his ways, and we will snipe at his silly red light before he can do a thing about us. Now, I said I'd tell you one thing about this rifle, and I will. You see that little switch thing at the back of it? That means the safety's on. So apparently they had real World War II guns to consult, but they didn't actually fire them. So let's go around here and collect all of their sniper-y type weapons, and then have a quick stare at this one. You can see, they even translated the text on that into German. They actually bothered to do something in this game. I guess that thing was a labour of love and nothing else in the game was. There's also two strange bolt holes in a piece of solid wood. I don't know about that, so let's carry on. Let us ignore it, and apparently this subway has come up in New Jersey. Well, you knew that joke was coming sooner or later, leave me alone. There is actually a glitch in this game where if you walk through, occasionally if you walk through a checkpoint while aiming down the sight, you'll get stuck that way. I was trying to make that happen in this one, but I couldn't, that's what. So we're going to have to ignore that. Our delicious coffee hits the spot, and it only costs 5 cents as well. That's marvellous. Right, where can I get this stuff? I don't know. Much better than Turning Point itself. We've got some German yelling random shit at us, so let's make our way up here, and then we will marvel at the fact that everything is on fire, and someone has knocked the water tower over. That's naughty of them. So, how come we couldn't see that on the others? Oh god, that bloody thing's back again. I have this strange feeling we found our first boss here. Maybe it also thinks we like men, who knows? Let's run away before it figures us out, and then we will make our way down here. Frost many broken door frames and useless exploding barrels. And yes, we couldn't get that glitch to trigger that time either. It's one of the few times a glitch in this game has been completely uncooperative. What are they for? I mean, I don't mind exploding barrels that much, but I would like there to be something to explode with them. Just having barrels for their own sake, that's madness. That's insanity. That's craziness. That's this man who's randomly standing against a wall looking left and right. So, let's drop down here, and then we will go and have to snipe some more men around this coach here, you see. There's a man there trying to dangle his way across a pipe in an instructive manner, but he is useless at it and will get... I'm not sure what happened to him. Right, I guess he has faded into obscurity, and so we must snipe these men, that they may not get us in the same manner. So, we've got to look around here, and this isn't even right for an infrared scope. Return to Castle Wolfenstein got it right. These scopes are monochrome. They are not just red-tinted versions of the normal world, in which this blimp can somehow manage to blind us with its deadly heat beam or something, I don't know. So, we've got to find all of them. You see? It's silly. It's very, very silly. So, we got some sparkly things there, but we're going to ignore that and try and find the other snipity man. There's the other snipity man. It's helpful of him to put that useless laser sight on his gun, isn't it? Maybe we actually do have one, and that's how they can buy us. Okay, that's what the blimp does. We finally found it out after only the entire level. So let's run our way back here and get a bit more ammunition for this here rifle, and then we will continue onward on our path to our useless anticlimactic boss fight. Please do not get even slightly excited about that. You're going to see just how badly this game does bosses in a moment. It's towards the very end, though, you see. Apparently that guy was supposed to say help us out, but he's supposed to get gunned down by one of the snipers when you've killed a couple of them, and we triggered that first.
Let's move out!
Okay, so around this fridge we will go, and we will have a look down here, because I thought there was another one of these, but actually it turns out it's one of the Gewehr 47s, you know. And the ammunition isn't interchangeable, even though it's the same rifle. Yes, we're in Medal of Honor 1 territory again. Oh, radioactivity. That must signal the fact that we can climb across this thing. So yep, there we go. Let's climb across. And apparently this thing is dirty because Carson won't actually touch it. And so we swing. Unlike that unsuccessful swingy man at the start, we will swing correctly across here, where we will encounter a brick texture which will attempt to eat us. So let's drop down and... oh my god, right, now we are safe from that. And then we'll encounter a brick texture which is sideways. Hooray! So we will use the uselessness of the infrared sight. Nope, fuck that, we're just going to have to shoot these guys normally, using science. Now, at the end of this road, there is a Panzerschlag. That means tank hit, I believe it does. So it is the Tankenspank. It's the most powerful of all weapons. Now, what we have to do with that is we have to fire it at this silly blimp thing 6 times, and then it will die uselessly. It's probably supposed to be based on the Luftfaust, a picture of which I will show you in a minute. However, what it's actually based on is just the rocket launcher from Far Cry, that multi-shot silly thing, which in turn was based on the M202 flame assault shoulder weapon, a silly gun, which turned up in the recent Call of Duty game. Oh, this guy's an ally, you can tell because he's walking towards a wall threateningly. So let us run past him, and then we will find a rocket launcher, which presumably the Germans just left here because they were afraid it had cooties on it or something. Nobody knows. So, the blimp's angry again. So we will have to go and hide behind this dustbin, and then we'll have to get this preposterously huge, ridiculously useless rocket launcher. Hooray! Right, so let's aim it at this thing, and then we will fire it and watch as the charging handle jumps backwards and forwards for no good reason. We will marvel at, once again, the fact that it doesn't have an empty clip model, and therefore it's still got 3 rockets in it, and we will marvel at the fact that it has one of these annoying direct fire sights, which has no kind of calibrations on it, and therefore is completely useless. Okay, this is a Luftfaust. This is not. This is a fucking house with a sight on the side of it. So we have blown up the boss. It only had a machine gun. It didn't get to attack us at all. And all we had to do was fire 6 rockets at it. It crashes behind a huge cloud of smoke, so they don't actually have to show anything happening. And that's it. That is Turning Point's idea of a boss. I have no idea why in this day and age that is in some way acceptable. So let's go and pick up the last of these sets of Panzerschlag rockety things here. There we go. Let's pick it up with our kneecap. And then we will look through its sight again, and then we will marvel at the fact that all of them suddenly appear at random. Yes, it's another one of these silly bosses which is fought right next to an infinite ammo crate with a rocket launcher. It's so goddamn inspiring. So, let us have enough of that, and then we will run over here towards the train. We will fire a rocket at the train because we hate it. And then we will jump in. Time to move out. What the hell? Yes, let's just glitch our way out of this. And that is that. That has been Turning Point Fall of Liberty, and I have been Evil Tim. Continue on to the next part, which will be up in a while, or not, as the case may be. It will be up in a short while, actually, so you will all enjoy that. But for now, you will instead enjoy this zoom out upon the blocky city. And we will see the level ending type screen before we go. Let's have a look at it. There we go. Goodbye.